Okay, so one.
Well, there's five of us, and then you
Yep.
got Nimue for
Okay.
six, and then you have Merlin seven.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's everyone, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
relatively
I
speaking,
could only
Merlin
do.
could fly overhead, right? And just fly in himself.
Well, I could do five, but I couldn't do the pass without trace thing at the same time.
Merlin can do pass without trace.
All right, so then we could do five invisible and all making no sound and leaving no tracks, but that doesn't get everybody in.
True.
That gets. So I can do myself. So that's one less person, but that still leaves probably
That'd be
Merlin.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think maybe Cat could blend in.
I mean, relatively
He's the most
speaking,
normal looking out of everyone, honestly.
I was gonna say I have the highest stealth, and I can try to sneak around.
Well, how well guarded are these camps? Have they set up like sentries and patrols and scout towers or anything like that?
Why don't you guys give me perception checks as you're taking in the arrangement of forces here?
Are we?
Gang.
Kat,
There's
you
no.
can make. Do you have? I mean, obviously you have military background. Do you have any sort of particular skill that's tied to that?
Uh, I could try history because she would know probably the battle tactics or
Give me
like
a
how.
give me a. Yeah, that's fair. Give me a history check with advantage.
All right. Why not? Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, whoa, awesome. Okay, this is cool. All right.
Nice. Very nice.
All right.
I did pretty well too.
You did okay.
We had a long rest. It took us days to get here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have exhaustion too.
Oh my god.
No, your exhaustion. will be
Why do you
gone.
have exhaustion?
I just asked if we have a long rest or not.
Oh,
It's been
yeah,
several
it's
days.
been days since.
Okay. I'm gonna press the
Oh
long
yeah,
rest
I
button.
should probably.
So it's
I
still
should
a 4.
probably do that. I don't-
It's still a 2. It's still
Yeah,
a 2.
got it. Okay.
Safine's not interested in this. Like, there was no Xanthem flags. Like, it's cool.
Right. So, you guys will have to bear with me here because I'm dealing with half of a party who have all served in the military, and I have not.
Yeah.
So you'll have to
You're
bear with
good.
me on terminology and such. But, you can see, taking in the details, between Ryland, his keen eyes, and Kat and her understanding of military tactics and especially the tactics of the realm, that this camp looks like it's been here for several days already, possibly even about a week or so. They've already pretty well dug in, entrenched themselves. They've set up their latrine pits. They've set up their palisades. They have watchtowers that have been established around the perimeter. And it's clear that they've got regular patrols that are going out and around, not just around the perimeter of the camp, but also extending, all the way around into the hinterlands of Limadnum. As you're looking around with your keen eyes, you can occasionally see small patrols of both on foot and on horse that are like wandering through the fields, emerging from the tree lines to the south of the city, and you can see their banners everywhere. Ryland, you can estimate that there are thousands and thousands of troops here, probably somewhere in the vicinity of about 10,000, which, Cat, for the realm is relatively small. That's a small group, but it seems to you like these are people who may have been called up relatively quickly, as if there was a rush to get these forces here. Um, you suspect that if there's any real concern of war breaking out, that it's only going to grow those numbers in the days to come, as more troops come in from more distant areas. Um, Kat, you also look around at the not just the banners that represent the forces of the realm, but also looking around and start to spy some individual specific banners. You recognize the banners of various noble families represented, including the banners of Visegrad.
God damn it! God damn it! Oh no!
You
That means one
also
of two things.
you also see at the heart of the camp around a larger tent clearly set up uh, for commanding officers, the personal insignia of the Sobel family.
Oh my god! Oh god! We stole his slippers. Oh no!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I put the slippers back. They are back in the chest.
Did you fuck with them?
No, I put them back fine. But you do have his chest of coins in
I
your
feel-
possession.
I have what?
You know the box I gave you in the other
You didn't
dimension?
tell me they were Sobels. Take them back, and she's gonna grab the chest and just chuck it at him. That would be a improvised throwing attack. So I don't have it. Never mind.
I imagine we probably would have left this chest with the wagon, right? You don't actually have it on you.
You underestimate Kat's love of gold.
um, I'll also say this, Kat. You notice something that kind of catches your eye, makes you wonder a little bit about the situation here. You don't see any banners at all that would represent any sort of militia or forces based out of Lymadnum.
Uh oh. Based on that information, uh, can does Kat know of anything in the realm of the Fake Queen's history surrounding what was the city? The one that was where I can't think, the Mortal Hand are headquartered. What was that city called again?
The one we just
That
the
was
Vilinistad?
Valinistad, yeah.
When the Fake Queen scourged Vilinistad, did a gathering like this happen?
Um, you you know from your history that when the city of Valinistad was liberated of rebels,
Oh yeah, yeah, scourged.
that
Bad word, right?
yeah, it was um, they had been resisting military intervention for some time, or rather, other they had they had been resisting uh, realm forces for some time before the Fake Queen determined to intervene directly. And nobody really fully knows what happened inside the city when she did that. Um, all that they know is that there were no more rebels in the city after that. The forces of the Fake Queen were able to march into what was essentially an empty city.
I mean, the smokestacks are still going, so it doesn't look like anything like that has happened. Maybe this is a preliminary action, something to destroy the rebels in their entirety. Which means Ryland, that the matriarch might be a little harder to find than we previously had thought. Maybe they had gone underground, into the mines. Yes. But if I were the fake queen, or if I were Sobel specifically, and I felt the need to quickly gather forces here around a city that we know that the many had infiltrated, I would probably make an example of said city. I don't know how. It seems like it is mostly up to Sobel's um, interpretation of the fake queen's will.
So,
Also, hey, did you see my family's banners over there? That's really cool.
what do you recommend we do here, Cat?
Our objective is inside that city, and there's an army between us and that city. We could bluff.
I mean, the option of everyone goes invisible and walks in is probably the best option. Except for
Who?
one.
Yes.
Maybe we could float underneath the river and then into the city. You use something to breathe while we're underwater. Maybe get
Unless
a
the
boat.
fake queen directly intervened and directly spoke to Sobel, which I'm not sure if she has already.
Well, I mean, there's a chance she hasn't, but I don't think, even if they were ignorant of our intentions, that they don't look like they're letting travelers in or out, probably.
Maybe
Yeah,
go-
that's definitely one thing you see is checkpoints along the roads in and out of the town.
Do they have check boats on the river?
Do they have patrol boats on the river?
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that patrols go by the river, and there's some roads that run parallel to the river, so it's clear that they have good views of it, but you don't see any actual like boats that are just trolling up and down river.
Can
I
Merlin
think-
pass as an actual swan?
Oh my god. I think maybe Merlin would. Does Merlin have any way of disguising himself or make
No.
himself invisible?
No, he's the one with pass without trace.
Ah,
I have
'cause
passed without trace.
I really want to see. I really want to see what they are talking about in there. So if we do go invisible, I recommend we snoop.
Agreed.
Did they use that word correctly? Snoop?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Okay. What do you think, Stefan?
I think if you just want intel, send someone in. We don't all need to go snoop.
I vote for vengeance. He's pretty sneaky. He's basically snuck himself into our group.
Yeah.
I would really like to go on too, honestly.
Okay, look. What if I can make Cat invisible and she just follows me and I sneak in? That's always an option. Then we have everyone else still able to become invisible to just go right in.
Well, you can disguise yourself, yes?
I can.
You've been traveling with Kat for weeks now. You haven't noticed how noisy she is?
Hey,
She's not sneaking anywhere.
that is
She's
that
basically
is
got
fair.
forward left feet. She's like Dima useless.
Hey, that is just uncalled for, sir.
Okay.
I'm not calling you to virus today.
I'm imagining that you weren't just gonna go invisible. You're gonna use some type of magic to be silent, right? Can we not just use that on her too?
She would need to stay close to me or Merlin.
Ah, I see.
I am okay with one of those.
Don't worry, Cat. I'll watch out for you.
I wasn't talking to you, but
How
Oh.
important is this intel? How badly do we need it? We're taking a big risk.
Merlin kind of looks sad and starts sulking in the corner.
it's okay. I like you. Just never mind.
You just don't like me that way.
Whoa. Whoa.
You know,
And-
enough to have me protect you with my magic. That's
and-
clearly
and-
what I
and-
was
and-
implying.
Yes. Let us move on. Yes. I think honestly it would benefit us greatly because not only are we seeing what they're doing here in Limatnam, we can also see if they are trying to purge it, what they have done with the citizens, or if they're even moving to war with Xantham.
Well, okay. How about this, Cat? I can sneak in there with vengeance. I'm a lot quieter than you are, and I'll just telepathically relay everything going on to you as it's happening. You can like tell me things to look for, or I can point things out for you, and you can kind of direct us. You can be
Look,
our eyes.
I hate to be that guy, but she could always just take her armor off too. It'd be a lot quieter that way.
We could always
that.
poison everybody and then reanimate their corpses and kill all the survivors.
I mean, that is also an option.
Guys, if you want to cause a distraction, we
I
could
could-
release.
yo,
No,
I'm-
no, no, no. We could release
Just gonna
Brian.
take off my arm. Excuse me.
Oh, we do have Brian. I forgot about Brian.
Right, the brain that you failed to mention.
Hey,
Right.
look. If
You
we
do
tell him
have
we're
to.
letting him, if we tell him we're letting him go to do whatever he wants, he's gonna go right there and try to get more followers or
I think
slaves,
I'm-
whatever.
I think I am just going to take off my armor, honestly.
I don't know. I like the Brian idea.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to start ritually casting Top Out of Bound.
Even without armor, Cat, you're not exactly the stealthiest player in the party.
That is fair.
I feel like this is. I mean, I know you want to listen, but I mean, is it really worth the risk here? Because if you get caught in there, and then any plans we had of actually sneaking through this are screwed. Because then we got to break you out or something.
Look,
Right,
Eh,
right.
Do you know what
Look.
an army will do to an attractive lady like yourself?
I could bluff my way out of it. I've bluffed
Treat
my
her
way out.
very respectfully.
yes,
I've
Marlon.
bluffed my way
Yes.
out of way worse.
Look, me and Rylan can go in. He can send everything to you. If anything gets hairy, he's still invisible, and I can fucking dip out while you all break in, and then I'll meet you somewhere in the city.
Fine. Just, I will tell. Just swing by the Melnikov tent. I would like to know who is here.
If we have time, yeah.
Oh, don't worry. You will hear Uncle Liv.
Don't worry. If I get stuck in there, I will make sure to tell him I know you and see
He
how
is a
that
big
goes.
man. He has a scar over eye. Yes, and you'll see him. Don't worry. He'll probably introduce himself. Honestly.
Okay, I got you, kid. So, are we doing the plan with me and Rylan going in and everyone else sneaking around?
No, we're not sneaking around. The only thing was that Cat wanted to hear what they're talking about in there. That's what she said.
Ye-
And then we reassess, and then we come back, and then figure it out from there.
All right, sounds good then. Rylan, are you ready?
He just said we weren't sneaking in.
We are. They're not.
Yeah. As soon as telepathic bond, I'm gonna need an invisibility though from someone.
I will give him it. Just to save Seven's uses of it.
If I
Actually, if we're not all going in right now, and we're gonna come back to go in together later, if Seven uses it, I still have mine in case something gets hairy. I can bounce out with invisibility too.
And meanwhile, while they are sneaking in, we'll have to like make a little, like we'll have to have a shelter because they're gonna, or like a disguise or a camouflage, like a hideout, because they're gonna be sending patrols all around this camp. I'm surprised we haven't been found already, actually.
I am assuming that you guys are doing this from a pretty great distance off, and that you're probably not just standing in the open while you're having this discussion.
See, you
So-
would think.
Vengeance is going to be the one not invisible, correct? Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's
Yeah,
10
hey.
for Bardic Inspiration. I can't just...
I'll just fucking give Kev mine real quick. Save the uses for everyone else.
No,
Wait,
I was
what?
hoping to give you like a Bardic Inspiration, but it only lasts 10 minutes in case you needed a bluff or, advantage.
It's fine. I can turn you both invisible, but you get hold on.
An hour.
All right, so yeah, it's only an hour, and just don't take any.
Yeah, can you post it so I know my left and right limits here?
It just don't attack or cast a spell. Anything else you can do.
So I can use a class feature. Got it.
Yes, apparently it doesn't rule out other actions. Just attacking and casting spells.
I
The-
guess
Would
let's
emboldening
get it
bond
started.
would emboldening bond break it, Anthony?
Sorry, break what?
Would emboldening bond break invisibility?
I don't believe so, because it's not an attack and it's not a spell.
Okay, I just want to double check. Before we go, I want to test out telepathic bond here, but that moved my mouth. Like, can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, cat.
Mic check 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Oh, this is neat.
Well,
All right.
well, we're gonna be going now. We'll let you know what we find, cat. What should we be looking for when we get in there? Should we be going to Sobel's tent? Should we be going to your family's tent?
Oh, I mean, the family tent should be on the way, most likely. I mean, it shouldn't be too far out of the way. We have a that's all. But yes, the very center. You want to listen in? Yes. Also, be on the lookout for mortal hand members. They may have weird magic stuff.
Look,
So
if
just
we
keep that in mind.
we'll get whatever
Um,
information we can. If we can actually get inside the tent and get actual handwritten stuff, we will. But we're probably gonna stay.
I mean, like they may have like special ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If that's the case, then we're gonna boot scoot boogie the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, wear some kind of armor. No, we don't have time. Just go. You'll be fine.
All
And
right.
if not, we'll come and break you out.
Worst comes to worst, Safine reuses my corpse. It's a fine. Ryland, you ready?
Yep. Let's go. Everyone but Spain. Okay. And once we get to like a patrol, Anthony, prior to approaching a patrol or the edge of camp where we'll have to actually start being like stealthy, that's when I would put up emboldening bond, just so you know.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second.
Safine's juicing us up to get our ass beat. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, right. It's like, would the fiend come? No, because they
It's a
would
lot of walking.
feel... It's invisible as an indignity. You don't hide this. also at the same time, I clearly look like I don't belong.
Yes, and the red creature with black and purple hair and a tail definitely looks like they belong.
It is
mean-
purple? I thought there was more of a fuchsia. Vengeance, what I'm trying to say is that you have beautiful hair.
Thank you.
Almost
You
thought
are
more
a
of it
very,
like,
very,
like plum.
you are a very pretty man, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know colors that well. We just got a base education where I'm from,
You got an education?
Yes.
Get out of here! Leave!
Yes.
Well,
Teacher was a great teacher.
we at least know he's a certain intelligence because the spell doesn't work on the lame.
Oh wow, this is going to this telepathic bond is really good for feeling the burn.
I just imagine all this shit talking is going on while me and fucking Ryland are walking too.
So just to be clear, it's just Vengeance and Ryland that are heading towards the camp right now.
Yep.
And you're not. Are you attempting to be stealthy at this point, or are you just walking up the path towards?
When we get closer, we're gonna start being stealthy. But because
Okay,
we're
so
so far away, it makes
But
no
you don't want to
sense.
be seen. You don't want to be seen. Okay. So, you begin to approach the rank and file, row after row of tents that sort of fan out across the hillsides on the far bank of the River Conch, because that is the name of the river, by the way. Not that it probably makes much of a difference to anyone, but and you you eventually see that there are some patrols that are going to, if not exactly intersect with you, at least sort of cross your path in the near future. And now would be the time, if you're going to try and take cover and move quietly, to do so.
Okay. So this is gonna be
Yep.
the time I put Emboldening Bond up.
Oh, Beata, did I tell them to watch out for war dogs as well? I hope they don't. I hope they don't start sniffing them out. Yes.
Yeah, there actually probably are some trained hounds and stuff that they have. Do I have a Mastiff generic token? I really should. Um, but yeah, there's definitely some groups of dogs you can probably hear barking coming from the camp. And I should mention that, this camp, I said there were about 10,000 roughly troops that you estimated based on your perception check, which was very high. But the camp is more than just 10,000 people. I mean, we're not talking about a modern army. We're talking about a semi-medieval, semi-Renaissance army where you have tons and tons of camp followers. You need thousands upon thousands of servants who are there to help haul things and to help cook things and to help clean things. And you're talking about supply lines that are coming in from other areas. So this camp is really sprawling, even though it's for a relatively small force of troops. Um, and there's lots and lots of support personnel, but they're mostly in the form of commoners, servants, and various camp followers. Um,
Ricky's just sitting outside.
and that's kind of what is like on the outskirts of the camp. It's kind of these sort of informal uh, camps that are set up around the outer perimeter, and then the more ordered tents of the actual armed forces, and then sort of at the heart of it all, you see the commander tents. Um, but the first thing you need to worry about is this patrol. So Ryland has cast Emboldening Bond and has gone stealthy. You can see that there are a couple of riders on horseback who are kind of at the rear of this little contingent. You see a couple of uh, soldiers who are marching along. Uh, probably only a couple of them, and that they do have a hound that is leading the way and kind of sniffing and running off a few yards occasionally to chase after something, inspect something, and kind of come back to them. Vengeance, have you given me a stealth check?
27.
I see it up there. Okay, 27. 21. These people go marching right past. Don't seem to have noticed you. Perhaps you ducked down behind like an old furrow in a field there. The fields are mostly devoid of crops at this point, this late in the year. Just whatever is left still kind of laying around after the harvest. But you can probably duck down. Yeah.
We're both invisible because 7.
Oh, you're both invisible too. Right. Well, then you don't have to duck so much, but if you stay still, the group moves past. Even the hound doesn't seem to notice you, even though it's kind of occasionally sniffing around. Apparently, you're coming from a good angle. You're downwind, so. You think that at this point you are free to start progressing into the outskirts of the camp if that's your intention.
Yep, keep on moving.
Ooh, that was close, guys. We just got past the patrol with a dog.
Ooh, was it the bourgeois?
I don't know what breed of dog it was, Cat.
Ah,
Why are you whispering?
never mind.
You're talking in your head.
Force
Am I whispering?
No, Vengeance was.
Why are you whispering? It is all in your head.
Now you're whispering.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was snacking. I didn't want to be rude.
I just imagine me and Riley trying to be secret squirrel. Everyone else just, hey, got any more snacks?
Got that trail mix.
Oh, Safine, what is that? Is that some sort of fruit?
I share some dried fruit.
Oh, this is delightful.
Yep, we're gonna keep going.
Okay. Oh, really? I have the Mastiff, but I don't have a token for the Mastiff? That's annoying. Oh well. Yeah, Rylan, and when you look at, just as a note, when you look at the composition of this little group of 4 that's on patrol, the 2 on horseback look to be just pretty lightly armed and armored, and they look like maybe they're levies of some sort. Nobody. They've perhaps just been called into action as militia troops. But the 2 on the ground, something about them just strikes you as much more rugged, much more experienced. You can see that they've got heavier armor on and cold weather gear that looks like it's seen lots and lots of use. Kind of strapped all over with a couple of weapons, a sword over one shoulder, a longbow that's kind of slung over the other, and they definitely have the look of more veteran troops.
Oh, shit!
But yeah, you keep going, and now you are invisibly moving into the area where the camp followers have set up and pitched various tents, lean-tos. There's wagons scattered around, various livestock and beasts of burden. You can hear all sorts of commotion coming up, the sound of pots banging together as camp cooks are preparing meals and washerwomen are cleaning uniforms and the like, and perhaps another tent off to the side where you hear some rather out of place giggling sounds. But yeah, you can keep trying to progress through this, or if there's anything at all that you want to do, you can do that as well.
No, we are gonna try and head for that Mr. Sobel tent.
Just keep pushing in. All right. Then I am going to need you guys to make me another stealth check.
Hey gang, I just wanted to say hello. Still at the airport.
Welcome.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Still at the airport.
Yep, we're a little stuck because I don't know what I'm gonna be but is this for real gonna be your last game for a bit, Mark?
There's been talks about maybe doing a special on the weekend in like within a month. But I'll be here for 2 hours next week at least.
Some sort of
Awesome.
some sort of weekend special, just to give a better send off than I can do right now, because I'm traveling as well right now, so I'm on my little laptop and I don't have all my resources.
Basically,
But,
getting on OVA. Still canon though.
But yeah, I mean, this is
Awesome.
actually you can definitely listen in Scarlet if you're able to, because we're just right now we're doing pretty much just theater of the mind. So you're not missing a whole lot visually.
I'll listen for as long as I can. I may bounce randomly.
Oh yeah, sure, whatever you need to do. Okay, so we've got Ryland and Vengeance both sneaking in. Ryland, it's a little trickier to move stealthily here because there's just so much activity going on, people coming and going. You kind of have to keep your head on a swivel and make sure that you don't bump into something, trip over something, step in some horsemen, or leave a track, something like that. But give me 1 sec. Oh, you got an 18 with your D4?
Yeah, he got an 18, I got a 24.
Okay. There is a moment as you pass through the camp here where the two of you get a little bit split up from each other. Vengeance ends up a little bit further ahead, moving very quickly and quietly. But then there's like a train of people that come walking through and get a bit in the way. Ryland, it's a narrow passageway between tents here, and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. But how do you avoid this group of maybe about a dozen people who are coming past, and one of them's like leading a donkey as well?
Both of us or just him?
Just me.
Just Ryland.
Is there a place I can sidestep to, or is this one of those times where I'm gonna have to take like some really awkward like swinging steps in the gaps until they can pass?
There does look like there's a tent flap that's half open. You could try ducking in there, or you could try to dodge back and forth.
Go for
Hide
it.
under the donkey.
It's
You know, I gotta keep going. Well, I'm gonna duck into the tent real quick. I'm gonna. Hold on, I'm a little stuck. I'm stopping for a second. Tent with open flap.
Tent with the open flap. All right. Yeah, you get this warning from Ryland, Vengeance. You hear him say he's a little held up. And Ryland, you duck into this tent. And why don't you roll me
Acrobatics.
a D4?
Oh.
A D4.
Oh my god.
All right. Best possible result for you. The tent happens to be empty at the moment.
Oh. A 1 in 4 chance. That's great, man.
Blessings to Eldath.
And so, yeah, you just glimpse behind you, and you can see that there's like bedrolls laid out, and somebody's personal possessions. Looks like the tent of some sort of commoner. And fortunately, it is empty, and you pause for a few seconds while this group marches by, and then you have a clear path, and you can go forward ahead and meet up with Vengeance once again.
But I imagine that's like, hey, Vengeance, where are you at? I'm over here.
Casually sitting on this box over here that was
Bro,
nicely placed.
There's like 400 boxes I can see within eyesight right now. Which box?
Okay. The way we were going, the box that has the cloth that's swaying weirdly, I say as I'm like smacking the cloth hanging out.
Okay, I see it. I'm coming to you.
And you meet up again, and with that, you manage to pass through the outskirts of the army encampment, and now you are continuing further into the more orderly tents of the soldiers. And once again, I will require from you stealth checks. Oh, it's getting harder. It's getting harder.
For one of us.
Vengeance is if anything, this is even easier vengeance. The pathways between tents are a little bit wider. The ground is packed down a little more evenly. You pass through a sort of a sort of checkpoint at the edge of the camp. They've erected these like small barricades and some ditches around the perimeter of the camp here to act as some temporary defensive measures. And yeah, Vengeance, you have no difficulty at all picking an opportunity when a couple of the guards they have their backs turned, they're talking to each other, and you just slip right through and into the heart of the camp here. Ryland,
Oh no.
however, is trying to follow you. And as he goes deeper and deeper towards this checkpoint in between these barricades and ditches, Ryland, you are headed forward, about to pass through just like Vengeance did. The two guards have their backs turned, they're talking to each other. And then at the last minute, one of the guards spins around unexpectedly and calls out, yelling apparently to some other person in the distance. But him spinning and yelling causes him to turn and bump directly into you. He kind of jostles back in surprise, not having expected to run into anyone.
Just doing like a little circle trying to get around him before he can react to what was in front of him.
You see him like stumble back a few steps, and one of the other guard who's with him starts like laughing and pointing at him, saying something in Startle. You think you pick up the word drunk in there, but you can see that the one who bumped into you is like very concerned and alert, and his eyes are darting around as he's yelling at the other guard about something.
While they're yelling, I'm gonna pick a rock up and just yeet it to the side to try to get their attention away from where Ryland is.
Okay. Fair enough. Vengeance, why don't you give me let's call it sleight of hand to see if you can.
Oh, perfect.
Very nice. You pick a rock and you pick an ideal point that is going to catch their attention but not cause too much chaos. And you chuck it off into the ditch right where it's some water has pooled there. and the splashing sound causes the alerted guard to look in that direction and kind of point and shout. The other one turns to like look a little disinterested, but still drawn by the noise. And Ryland, you can take the opportunity to slip past the checkpoint and into the rows of tents. Nicely done. However, you can see, even as you're like quickly hustling further away from this, that the guard you bumped into is still sort of searching around and a little bit frantically talking to some of the other soldiers. Some of them seem to be taking him more seriously than others. And you probably you probably know enough Zaril at this point, just from being around Kat and from wandering around the realms, to pick up that the one you bumped into is calling for a dog, for dogs to be brought. But while they're preoccupied with that, you can go even further into the camp, and now you are amongst the actual soldiers. You can see that many of the tents are decorated with the sigils of not only the realm but of particular families, and you can see that the banner of Visegrad is not far off. It's maybe I don't know. It's not even like a quarter of a mile away through the camp. Well, you wouldn't be able to see it if it was a quarter mile away. So it's maybe a few hundred yards away. You just have to make your way across a few rows and down, and you could
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, Anthony.
approach that, or at this point you could just head straight towards the commander's tents.
Oh yeah. That.
All right, we'll go to Kat's family's tent after we go to the main tent.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good. That is a good idea.
Hey, you listening to our conversation right now?
I heard a jostling, and I was wondering if you were okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah,
Vengeance
Ryland's-
is getting a little sloppy over here, though.
Yeah, Ryland's a master of stealth, and I'm merely his apprentice over here.
That doesn't sound right. But okay.
Can I have Seven and Kat and Safine and Nimue, if you're available, Scar? I'm assuming you're not.
I still got her sheet.
Oh, you've still got a sheet. I'll have perception checks from them, and of course from Merlin.
Yeah. Who Nimue? Because
Did you? Are you swapping your picture out?
Yeah, man. I'm dedicated.
Yep. That's how you got to do it. You got to go down to the thing to make sure you roll it correctly.
I'm not confusing Anthony here.
It's a really good thing that.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot I'm disadvantaged. I'm not disadvantaged, but that's really good for Sophie.
Yeah, that's excellent for Safine. Safine is
nat 20.
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Sophie cares about Ryland, so they're actually paying attention now.
Mhm. Yeah. So Safine is definitely on high alert, as is Nimue, and even Merlin for that matter. And the group of you can catch sight of, it looks like, a wider ranging group is returning, and they're actually coming up from behind you, as if coming towards the camp. It looks like maybe they were out hunting or something like that. You can hear the baying of hounds, and see that they look like they've got some fresh kills slung over their shoulders. There's about 8 of them, and they are headed in your general direction. If they keep progressing any closer, it's quite certain that they'll spot you where you're hunkered down. In fact, it's only your good luck that you spotted or heard them first that prevented them from doing so.
How did we disguise this camp?
Good question. How did you?
Uh, uh,
I
Did
imagine you guys
we-
were all just sitting by a stump on a hill, overlooking the camp.
They got a little picnic set up. They're just eating.
I just imagine they're taking bets to like bet 20 gold to get caught.
I really hope we didn't just do that.
No, I mean, we wouldn't have an actual camp. We would have had it all packed up, to be mobile, and
Right.
like not leave anything. So it's not really a camp as much as we're just sitting around.
Yeah.
Right, and you've got mounts at this point.
Yeah.
You've got those Kuorns that you came riding in on.
I mean, we could ride off to the side.
Yeah, but they definitely spot us then. How do we want to? We could just play it off, and just say that we're on a patrol, but some of us don't look exactly fitting in the realm of the Fey Queen, nor do our mounts. Zaychik, what do you think? We could just ride.
What do I think about what?
Well,
Oh.
you said that your family's banner is down there, correct?
Yes.
Do you have something on your body to corroborate that?
Yes. And she
So you
points
you
to the
are
insignia.
so you are taking a squad of, I don't know what you call it, commandos, and you are in charge of us, and we are special forces.
If there's any word I've always wanted to describe myself and my friends as, it's commandos.
I mean, it is weird when you take off your armor and that's how you're dressed, but yes. Personally, don't like the chafing of the nipples. But
My
that
understanding of
work.
common is not very. I don't understand how special operations have to do with chafing of nipples, but okay.
But
Let
I mean,
let me do
I
the
don't.
talking.
I think you're right. I think standing our ground is the better way to go.
But yet, fuck it, let's do it. And Kat puts her armor back on real quick and showing the insignia of the Ursa Legion, which happens to be the same signal of Visigrad. And just waits for the patrol to pass by.
Okay, so you just stand your ground and wait for them to draw closer.
Once they get close enough that, because Bardic Inspiration only works for 10 minutes, I'm gonna pop it and give it to Kat in case she needs to bluff and such.
Okay. One second.
I got some stealth music playing, so it's oddly tense.
Yeah, I'm glad you have music playing because I can't really control the music since I can't hear it with the setup.
Yeah, it's not playing on mine.
Dane.
So it's
I think Mark's running his own secret playlist on Spotify.
All right, that would be a
Am I?
D10, right? If I have to use it,
Yep.
which I'll most likely have to use it.
Didn't mean
Why are
to
they
do
all
that.
there?
Didn't mean to
Why
do
are
that.
they all there? Oh my god, they're all there.
Who's all where?
The whole
Didn't
fucking
mean to do
family's
that.
there. Oh god.
Wait, what? Am I missing something?
Okay.
I imagine we're in the village and just hear Cat going, "Oh, the family's all here." Ah."
Well, Cat knows nothing, so neither do I.
Yeah, as this patrol comes in, you can see that it is, like I said, it looks like a group of 8 and they have dogs with them who kind of bay and bark as they draw closer, and they catch scent of your uh, your Kuorns, your horses, and the barking seems to the, the your mounts don't seem to like that very much, and they begin to kind of stamp and jostle around as they're looking at this group, and eventually the group comes within easy sight of you. And when they spot you, they begin heading directly your way, kind of coming down a footpath from the wilderness, and then uh, deliberately sort of turning off towards you as they get within a few hundred paces.
Cat would be waving with a big smile.
You see someone approaching you, kind of ahead of the group. The others seem to hang back a little bit, as if not really interested or not intending to come any closer. But there is one, a scarred woman with the sides of her head shaved, and just a sort of short ponytail that is tied up on the top of her head, who comes forward, and you would recognize Kat again with your knowledge of the arrangement of the forces. That this individual probably belongs to a certain division of troops known as the. See if I can get this right. And I've lost them. Hang on. Yes, it's a group known as the Okhotniki.
Kultniki.
Okhotniki, which is basically a group of very experienced and sort of highly trained um, scouts, essentially. They're excellent. They're masters of sort of wilderness travel and tracking and hunting, and it looks like one of them was leading this group of hunters to help them bring back some more provisions. Let me show her to you.
Could I also get the name of that unit in chat? If you don't mind, I don't want to butcher its pronunciation too much.
I have already done so, so you have nothing to worry about.
There we go. I just don't want to forget it like mid conversation. Kolchniki.
Oh, Kochniki.
Right, thank you.
Kochniki.
Kolchniki. Gotcha.
Okay, hot Nikki.
Oh, wow. Okay. Intimidating. I like it. It's good.
The Witcher?
Ignore the medallion.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Most likely from the Husai region, yes?
Yeah, probably. Looks like she could be a Westerner.
She calls out in Zdarl first and then in Husai as well. Devaiche!
And she just kind of nods as she approaches. Doesn't really offer any sort of friendly greeting, not even a smile. But she comes to stop about a healthy distance of about 30 feet from you, and just sort of stands there with one palm resting gently on the hilt of a blade at her side. And she says, I could not tell you what the difference between a Hussite accent and a Storal accent is. But yeah, she just looks at you and says, "You are a very interesting looking bunch. I don't think you
Wait.
belong here."
No, no. The Vaish, I know the Kochniki go on long ranges, but surely you must recognize the House of Melnikov and our famous scouts.
She kind of squints, looks at Katerina, looks at the sigil, and she says, "I recognize the bear of Melnikov,
Of
but I didn't.
course, of
But I
course,
did.
my Uncle Liv is much more popular with the ladies, you know?
Your uncle."
And
Of
thank you
Yes.
for the compliment, by the way. Interesting is a good word for me.
She doesn't crack a smile. She just kind of like clocks Safine for a second. And she says, "You are what? Soldiers?"
course. When I say famous scouts, I mean more of a personal retinue, yes?
No.
These are friends of mine, companions, and of course,
I'd
mounts
You are.
dig up
that
I'd dig up
that
supplies for the group.
that accompany me on a sojourns outside the camp. You know, I need to stretch my legs, unless, of course, the Kochniki feel like they need to. I don't want to throw around accusations. Uh, question a noble's authority.
She shakes her head and she says, "Yes, it is very much like a noble to need an entire retinue with them when they go stretching their legs.
You have a sharp tongue, my friend.
And you have very undisciplined followers."
Undisciplined. You should see them when they fight.
What's wrong with my discipline?
She again again is like clocking 7, Safine, but really is only talking to Kat as she says, "I have heard of the daughters, granddaughters of Melnikov, but I
Few.
did not realize that the Black Sheep was in service to the realm."
The black sheep. And you hear Cat's voice get kind of low for a moment. I would very much advise you to watch your tongue.
"I meant only," and she makes a slight gesture towards your dark hair. Says, "The sons and daughters of Radovanovich are not so swarthy."
Hmm. A mistake easily made, and understandable. I have only recently returned to the service of the realm, and I am only better for it. Aren't we all? Davash.
Perhaps, perhaps. She just stares for a few seconds too long. and then simply says, "It was an honor to make your acquaintance."
Devish, I do have to ask. It is only fitting for me to introduce myself and you to give your name in return. I don't believe I received it.
Hmm. I did not give it, and nor did you, in technicalities, give yours.
I did state the name of my house and my purpose and extended greetings. But you may call me Cat.
Cat. Very well, I will give you my name now, in a moment.
Once I remember what it is.
You can call me Agatha.
Agatha. A fitting name.
And you probably don't care, but you may call me Goisha.
Very well.
Croatia. Agatha. I am honored. Ekaterina Borislavna Melnikov.
Hmm. Perhaps I will see you around the camp. Hmm? Katerina?
Hopefully. I do want to test my blade against one Okochniki scout such as you. It looks like you are quite skilled.
She shrugs and says, "If I am caught in a sword fight with a noble, then I have failed on so many levels already that I might as well have my head removed."
Fair enough. I bid you farewell.
Perhaps I shall see you at your family's tent. And with that, she'll kind of turn and make a gesture, and her various hunting companions will start to walk off.
Cat is gonna wait until they crest over into the camp and turn to Seven and Safine. We have to get the fuck out of here.
That we do.
What's the matter?
Uh, if I understand anything, it is that the
Well-
Kochniki report as soon as possible.
Safine would stop you from talking until they've been long gone.
What you can telepathically.
Like
Oh,
you would
sorry,
start talking if
telepathically.
we got it,
It's
because I would not want them. We don't know what their background companions can do for far listening.
well, that's what you're telepathic.
Everyone's telepathic right now.
Okay.
I'm assuming anything, unless I'm speaking out loud to people outside of our party, is going to be telepathic. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Maybe we should go somewhere more secluded.
I mean, moving doesn't change the report part, right?
True.
They know we're here. This the problem. Doesn't matter if we go to a different spot. They still, right? Is that what you're saying?
We could go. I heard there were forests. Maybe we could hide in the woods.
From a skilled tracker who knows the woods.
Maybe not these woods. Listen, the best we can do is hope at this point. We've already been, well, we have been spotted already, but you guys, maybe not. You guys are good.
All right. Meanwhile, yeah, this is happening whilst the others are in the midst of infiltrating. So at this point, a group of you, rather Ryland and Vengeance, have made it deep, deep into the middle of the camp here, into the very heart of it. You've sort of passed by all of the common soldiers' tents, and you're now seeing larger tents that have clearly been set up for the command to either as their own personal quarters or as sort of meeting places for strategizing and discussing. And you're sort of moving around here and there. And you can give me perhaps perception checks first.
You can get their stat.
That's the second perception 20 out of you today, man. That's great.
Popping. Technically it's 3 because I double nat 20'd on the other one.
Oh, that's true. But if only you can do that for stealth.
All right, Ryland, well, I mean, even Vengeance is very keen-eyed. The both of you are incredibly alert as you enter this area, and so you're able to discern a few things first before anyone is able to potentially even have the chance to discern you. First of all, you see a lot more of the banners of nobles amongst these tents. There's all sorts of noble groups that are represented, noble families. You two are not personally familiar with most of them, but you can definitely recognize that this is where the sort of upper crust of the army is in terms of their not just their command, but also like the high society folk, so to speak. You can see that there are a couple of very large tents that look like they could easily house dozens of people that are kind of set up at the heart of this. And one of them in particular, you notice two heavily armored knights wearing the black and gold of the mortal hand, standing on guard outside the tent. And as they look around, you can tell that they are, how do I put this? They seem to be incredibly alert. Like, even the slightest thing will draw their attention. There's like a clink of maybe metal on metal off to the side somewhere, and it was pretty faint. You two heard it because you're both very keen-eared, but it seems that they heard it as well. And they do not seem to be they seem to be very much vigilant as they're doing so. And you realize that these two heavily armored ones are not alone. The longer you kind of look around here, you occasionally see other members of the hand moving in and amongst the tents, sort of kind of blending with the troops. They're not, they're wearing their own outfits, so they're still recognizable, but kind of moving, subtly through the grounds and kind of keeping their eyes open.
And you said they're guarding like the main tent?
Yeah, one of the largest ones is being guarded by two of those heavily armored knights. The same. They look like the same sort of guard who was tasked with protecting the face that you encountered at Villenestad.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Ryland. Do you want to keep moving to Sobel's tent, or do you think the Mortal Hand tent would probably have better info?
That's a hard one. I mean, we know the Mortal Hand carries out a lot of the operations, but Sobel directs the Mortal Hands as well. I think maybe we should try and see if we can get anything from them, just in case anything else goes wrong. We can at least leave with some information.
All right, so you want to go Sobel's tent first or theirs?
Theirs is the closest, correct, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean they're all sort of clustered around in a group here. They're all relatively near each other.
Okay, I thought we were gonna have to go by their tent to get to Sobel's. No, I mean,
It's more of a matter. You can see Sobel's what must be his personal tent. It bears his sigil. You see this other giant tent that looks like maybe it serves as some sort of meeting place, and that one is being guarded by these Mortal Hand troops.
oh, that one, definitely that one.
Yeah.
That's got the goods.
Okay.
That's the op center.
Okay.
That's the J3.
You head for the ops center then.
That's the job, baby.
Give me stealth checks.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh.
Ryland knows just when to dip the cookie into the milk.
I don't know what that means.
It means we both got stupid high stealth checks.
My timing is
So
impeccable.
dumb.
You can't dip the cookie multiple times. You gotta wait for that one good one. You know,
One
you take
good
that first
jump.
bite out, and then you can angle it in.
All
I
right.
don't know. That sounds like a downtown, hometown, birds and the bees talk from the river.
Yeah, that sounds like something else. Exactly. Okay.
Y'all got
all
dirty
right.
minds.
You're invisible, but the two of you don't even risk the exposure. Even with that, you move incredibly stealthily and quietly, waiting for moments when there might be a couple of passers-by and try to move with that group, using them for a little bit of cover. Wait until a wagon stops and run up and hide there before moving to the next tent. And the whole time you're carefully picking the placement of your feet so as to avoid making any noise, breaking any twigs, splashing in any puddles, and leaving as few tracks as possible. Eventually, you make it up to the side of this tent. You only see the one entrance, and it is guarded by these two who, well, you could simply march right past them and into the tent, relying on your invisibility to keep you safe, or you could try to find some other way in. But you don't think you can just there's no opening when you watch where they're being stupid and looking in opposite directions or something. You'll either have to rush right in front of them or find some other way in, or do something else if you want.
Ryan, what do you think we should do here?
What'd you say our options were? Walk right by him in the front.
I was
We gotta-
basically saying you can either try to find some way to get into this tent, but there's only one entrance and it's guarded by these two, and they're not creating any easy openings for you where you can just conveniently slip between them. We either have to just charge right through and rely on the fact that they can't see you to protect you, or find some other way to get into the tent, or do something else while you're here.
And
But you're
where-
essentially right up against the big tent now.
Are we in their sight right now?
No, not at the moment. Let's assume that you like if the opening is on the south side of the tent, say, let's assume that you're on like the west side, so you're kind of around the corner, out of their sight, and kind of pressed up against the tent, and it's like a now what kind of situation.
Gotcha.
Look,
Vincent,
if you know where to...
why don't you just walk out there and do a little walk by on the path and see if they look at you funny. That way we know if they can see you or not. And if they don't, we can just walk right in. And if they do, it's been good knowing you.
Fine. I'm gonna go ahead.
Could try making a distraction.
I mean, these guys, no, you're not here. You're not seeing them. They are not leaving the front of this tent for anything short of maybe like a fire.
Like a fire in the tents you're around?
I can't do any magic right now, or else I would.
Well, could you just strike a match?
A what?
Do you have any fire starter? Find an empty tent and set it on fire.
I mean, maybe, but that will disrupt whatever's happening inside that tent as well.
Knock over a.
Now, I don't think I can rightfully just lift up the side and walk in. That would look really suspicious.
Knock over a lantern into another one?
Even if you disrupt anything inside, their plans will still be laid out on probably a war table of sorts.
Time out. Can we actually hear if anyone's inside?
If you stop and listen for a moment, you can hear some occasional discussion voices. It is kind of muffled by the tent, but I would allow a perception check if you wanted to try and hear what's being said. There's your one. Yeah, unfortunately, well, that sucks. 17.
17.
Okay.
I think you meant
17.
Insight.
Inside.
To see inside the tent.
That's so dumb.
Nope. But Vengeance, you can make out some words in Zdaril. You also know a little bit of the language. It does sound indeed like there are some sort of discussions going on, but it doesn't sound like anybody's talking like immediate tactics. In fact, from the little bit you can gather a word here or there, it almost sounds more like there's two people who are maybe negotiating with each other, but you can't pick up the specifics from out here.
Look, Ryland, if you know any magic to use right now...
I can't use any magic.
No. You can use it.
No.
And I can make you invisible again.
Yeah, after I appear, I'm not doing that.
For a split second.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
And you want me to saunter out there in front of these guys that can't see us and just go, fuck you?
It's not gonna work. If you make him invisible again, then you'll be visible.
We're going with Ryland's plan. I'm gonna try to sneak walk in front of them and just like flick them off and see if they notice.
Okay.
Are you sure? This seems like such a bad idea.
Hey, it was Ryland's idea this time, so
I literally said, "Be careful of the mortal hand and their special eyes."
Alright. As I start walking, I'm gonna be like, Ryan, last chance. You sure you want me to do this?
Listen, either do that or start a fire. I don't care. Use your best discretion. Finn, this is a moment of trust between us and you. I want to see your decision making in action here in a high tense area.
Alright. Is
And
there
I
an
mean that
opening
literally.
to
There's a lot of high tense in here.
Is there an opening to the nearest tent to us? Like, can I sneak into the next tent over? that doesn't have these guys guarding it.
Sure.
That was terrible, Ryland.
But you're sneaking in. You're not like walking in front of them deliberately.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you can head over into the next 10 over.
All right. Once I'm inside, is there anyone in there?
There are indeed people in this tent. This tent isn't like guarded with the same degree of scrutiny, but you do see that there is someone armed who's kind of standing just inside the entrance. With the stealth check you already rolled before, you're easily able to slip past them. But it looks like that you've entered the tent of some noble, and maybe their personal retinue is in here. You see a couple of what look like household guards and some servants who are in the midst of stoking fires and sort of laying out cushions and cots as if preparing the area for someone to come sleep.
I'm gonna sneak over to where they're grabbing the fire to stoke from, and I'm gonna dump oil from that I have on me on it, so when they add it, it'll fucking burst up in flames.
Okay, so you're adding it to the wood that they're using to stoke the fire?
Yes,
Like,
that way the second it's added, it just shoots up.
interesting. I like that. Okay. So you kind of pick and choose your moment. I will ask for a sleight of hand check here. You've already rolled it.
God damn it. Oh god.
Do you have assurance on that? Is that what that is?
Yeah, he can't roll lower than a 10 on any skill that he's proficient in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rogue level 10 feat.
On any skill that he's proficient in? I thought it was just specific ones.
Yeah, the ones he's proficient in.
It's one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right now.
Wow. Okay, that's really impressive. In that case, you subtly just find a moment and soak the tinder here with the oil and try to do it in a way that it's not super obvious that it's been like drenched. Maybe, careful there. Maybe you sort of like lift up the top couple of little branches and logs there and dump it on the ones underneath so that like it's not immediately noticeable. And yeah, you feel like you've accomplished that.
And I'm gonna casually back out till I'm near the front and just make sure it lights before I fully dip.
Okay. Yeah, it takes another couple of minutes because they're sort of slowly just building up this fire, keeping it stoked. But then you see one of the bits of log that you uh, drenched go into the flames, and within a couple of seconds, the brazier suddenly starts burning hotter and hotter, the flames leaping higher and higher. You see a look of surprise on the servants' faces. This thick, black, oily smoke begins to pour up from it, um, and she starts shouting in a panic. The others, all in the tent, kind of turn to look and raise sounds of alarm as the flames are reaching up towards the top of the tent and seem to be at risk of igniting it.
I'm gonna dip out as it's about to light.
Okay, you dip out. And you find that you are now outside of this tent. Ryland, you who've been kind of hiding around the corner observing, you can see like heavy smoke rising from the tent and what even looks like maybe the first licks of orange flame beginning to uh, burn through the canopy. And you can see the two mortal hand guards standing there at the entrance to the tent, watching this intently, swords not drawn, but hands on hilts. And one of them calls out to whoever's inside the tent. Um, and the discussion that was happening in there stops. and you, let's see, let's say that you see two figures there besides the guards, standing at the entrance to the tent, kind of looking with a little bit of concern at this tent that's starting to go up in smoke. They are. Move the guards out of the way for a second. One man who is entirely clothed in a deep maroon cloak, and the hood of the cloak is pulled up, even though he's indoors. And you can see that it has this very elaborate golden filigree along its edges, and or embroidery, I should say, and that his neck is draped with these shining golden discs that are on chains that catch the light and glint, and his face is entirely covered by a metal mask that obscures his features. He looks like this.
Oh, what the
Oh.
fuck?
The man standing next to him is wearing a military uniform done in black and gold, with trim beard and sort of harsh features. You recognize him from the ballroom at Chutovka Palace.
Oh, except Pat. Pat won't.
I would go, who the fuck is this guy?
This is Anton Sobel.
Oh, that's the guy who owns the slippers you tried to steal.
I did steal them, but I put them back because I was told to.
That's why I said almost.
No, you said tried. I succeeded, but I succeeded in putting them back.
Is this relevant somehow?
What?
Yeah, I suppose it was relevant somehow.
Okay.
Yes, it is relevant to argue the verbiage because it sounded like I failed at my job.
How
but I
about
didn't.
if they are outside the tent, you sneak inside the tent and take whatever they were reading
They're-
over, or what?
They're kind of blocking the door.
Are these like canvas tents?
Yes, it's like fabric tents. I don't know if it's canvas exactly. It's probably like hide or leather that's been like carefully treated, but yes, they're
Okay.
fabric tents.
So if I see these guys come out the front to see what's going on, oh, but there might be more people in there still that just weren't talking. Yellow, fuck it. I'm gonna go like a little bit back on the tent and try to just like sneak under it, like the side of it.
You could just poke your head through, like under, like that.
Yeah, I'll look to see if there's anyone else in there. And there's not. I'll go all the way under it, assuming the side's liftable at all.
Yeah, it's pretty like, it's pretty firmly staked down, but you can kind of like pull up the very bottom and sort of wriggle your way underneath. It's not like so loose that you can just flip it up and walk under, but you can kind of slip under if you have a couple of moments to do so, which you do with this distraction.
While he's starting to do that, I'm gonna sneak back there with him and help hold the tent up for him.
Okay. Yeah. you can slide under and you can see what is within. It looks like there are. First of all, there's a very, very large trestle table that has been set up with quite a few chairs that have been arranged. They're like these stools that are essentially leather that's stretched over a frame. But they look quite sort of opulent, and with this long table set up, it's clear that this must be some sort of war room. However, it is not currently occupied. You do see that somebody has erected a frame with a large map of Limadnum that is hanging from it, with various points that have been noted. It looks like they've kind of marked out where the camp is, and areas of interest that need to be patrolled that are receiving regular patrols. It looks like there's more information there, but that's just what you see at a glance. You can also see the backside of Sobel and this other robed figure who are just sort of standing at the entrance looking out. The table is empty, with the exception of a large ingot of some sort of dark metal.
You're the one in the tent, bud.
You said there's nothing else on the table except that dark ingot?
Yes.
Come on.
Do it.
Come
Anthony, I've played enough video
on.
games to know when there's something randomly sitting on a table, you take it.
Come on, Kevin.
Do you need me to come in there and take the blame for you?
No, I'm an responsible adult. I'll take it. If I can lift it up, I don't know how heavy this thing is.
It's actually really, really heavy. I will actually need a strength check from you.
Are you kidding? Oh my god.
It's not so much that it's not so much that it's impossible to lift. It's more that it's so large and heavy that for Ryland, there's considerable effort that goes into it, and trying to do it while stealthy is not easy.
Oh.
Ryland, you go to pick it up and you're kind of surprised by the weight. Like you sort of go to pick up one side of it and it actually, you lose your grip. Your fingers slip out from under it and it slams down on the table.
Oh shit. Dip.
Dip potato chip.
Just gonna back up back to the inside of the wall and see if anything happens from that.
Okay. You see two things. First of all, I should mention this because you got right up on the ingot. As you were trying to lift it, you could see that it had been marked with some sort of seal. And it had some words written on it in Zdaril that you're probably unfamiliar with. But it was almost like a crest that had been stamped into the top of it. And as you back away and make for the edge of the tent, like trying to get out of there, you can see that both Sobel and this other figure have turned around and are like looking into the tent. The one in the robe and the mask steps forward, looks down at the ingot, which is in like now a slightly different position from where it had been before, and reaches out one hand. You can see that the hand is covered in a very fine looking silk glove that completely hides any skin, but that this figure reaches out and picks up the ingot easily in one hand and
Fuck.
stows it away.
What is happening?
Meanwhile, Stovall is scanning around the room, and as you stand there at the edge of the tent, he turns and locks eyes with you.
Play cool, play cool. Say nothing.
Is he making any other movements? Or anything, or is he just staring at me?
You see him slowly reaching towards something that is tucked under the fold of his jacket.
Well, then what's going on there, bud?
Things not going great. Things not going great. Someone's looking at me. He might be able to see me. I don't know.
Ryland, what do you do? You're just freezing. You're freezing and hoping that everything's okay. As he's
He's hoping he doesn't see him.
If he's staring at me, I'm going to like lower myself to the ground and like squatting and see if his eyes follow me down.
Smart.
They do that.
Oh my god. Fucking book it, man.
Is there anything in this tent that I can grab that I might think would be useful? Not as like a weapon, but like intelligence-wise.
I mean, you could try to rip down that giant map that they had hanging up, but that's definitely going to give him an opportunity to respond.
I know you said we're deep in this camp. Describe deep, like in terms of distance.
How big is a camp for 10,000 soldiers? Plus probably about
Pretty-
10,000 followers.
Pretty fucking big.
What do you think? Something like... I imagine it's been at least a quarter mile. Probably about that. Probably about a quarter mile.
And how closely they packed everyone together, which just sounds like they packed them in like fucking sardines.
Yeah, they're
So-
pretty tight together.
Hold on, I gotta look something real quick for science.
Quarter mile sounds right.
Yeah, imagine that the inner part of the camp is more compact, and then the outer part is with the camp followers is a little more like sprawling.
Ooh. Escape into the Melnikov tent. I can see nothing going wrong.
Okay, I could do that.
Sorry.
Wait, 35 double 70, 17 feet short, 17 feet. Oh, God. Basically 9. Okay. I'm gonna go rip that back down.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh
Okay.
my god, Ryland, what are you doing?
All part of the plan.
All right. Give me a second.
It's fine. So everyone knows to go 1 mile per minute. Oh wait, that's... Oh wait, no, this is way off. I miscalculated some stuff. Distance calculator. No.
This is gonna, yeah. Give me 1 minute here, guys. This is gonna take a second for me to figure out.
full round of movement is 6 seconds, right? So that's 10 feet per second. So I'm going. That means in a minute I can go 600 feet. I can go 700 feet. That's 280 divided by 4. It's only 1,320 feet. Okay, no, I'm so Gucci. But maybe Vengeance could lift that bar in the destruction.
It's not on the table anymore. It's in the guy's.
It's in his pocket. Good thing you're a pink pocket.
I'm not in the tent.
He's not in the tent. He's in the front.
That might be like
They're-
the ultra face of the fake
they're-
queen.
They're both in the tent. They're both at the table now.
No, they're not. They're not at the table. They're at the front.
How did he pick the ingot up?
The one of them is at the table because they picked the ingot up, and the other is.
Yeah,
I know it's a little hard because we don't have like a battle map to go off of or anything. But just imagine one long, roughly rectangular room with a long table in the middle and the tent flap on one of the long sides, and they're kind of standing between the opening and the table itself. And Ryland, you're off like at the far end with the map, maybe like 15, 20 paces away from you.
Ooh. Ryland, are you sure it's worth it, man?
Yes.
All right.
Thanks to Sabine. What's the worst this guy can do?
Rolling that 20 and one shot you.
I'm pretty sure he's like the second most powerful person in this entire fucking country. He saw right through your invisibility.
Yeah, but what about this guy? He might have saw him too and just prioritized the ingot. You know?
I honestly think that might be like the ultra face for the Fey Queen, and like that's just like her ultimate form or something, man.
Let's see.
Maybe like a super cultist.
Oh yeah, I always forget I have Boots of Elven Kind and I have advantage on stealth.
I'm sorry, you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Ryland.
Every time.
I mean, you haven't failed. I mean, you did fail one stealth check, but you got some help. But that hasn't been your problem so far. It's just the picking up an ingot right behind.
I'm not Bailiff, okay? I don't have
Maybe
two people.
Moments of.
Did you need like bracers of like dwarven strength there, bud?
Mm-mm.
I don't think anybody was expecting it to be that heavy, though.
Yeah, not even Ryland was. He was just like, let me just pick this. Oh, oops. And then
Whoopsie.
So that is an honest mistake.
Okay.
Fucking guy with the mask is creeping me the fuck out, though.
Ryland, I need you. Oh no, that doesn't work. Sorry. Damn. I really want to use this ability, but it's a little bit overkill.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna be outside the tent asking everything fine and just hear. Bring out your dead.
This special weekend session might have to be a rescue mission.
You might I can't believe it. I really thought you guys. I thought you guys were gonna go in and out. I didn't expect you to do something like this right next to these two.
Thanks, Max.
Why are you blaming me? I didn't tell you to grab the ingot.
I even gave you an opportunity to leave the tent before anything happens, but you're running for the map.
Listen, Anthony, I'm not coming up empty here. I haven't learned shit. The one perception check I needed, I fucked.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, Sobel got his perception check down too.
But listen, all this means is after I finesse my way out of this, they don't know Vengeance is here. so he can listen in afterwards and be like, listen to them shit talk me.
All right. Well, here's the problem. Vengeance, you were like helping Ryland in and out of the tent, right?
Oh no, I dropped the tent once he got in. I was waiting for his word to open it back up.
Okay, but you're waiting on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull flashlight. Gets you.
Here's the deal. I need the two of you to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh, I'm willing to bet it's shot in a straight line. Like right outside the tent.
Wait, hang on. No, you might not even be able to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, come on. I rolled pretty good.
No, no, you can. You can both make dexterity saving throws. Oh no. The entire tent, at least the southern half of it, or the half of it that you are in, Ryland, the western half of the tent, the table, the chairs, the tent itself, begin falling into the sky.
Excuse me?
What?
Gravity has
all-
been reversed.
They all immediately fall upward. Ryland, you are able to think quickly and grab a hold of a rope that's been driven into the ground by a peg, and you're dangling from it as all of the contents of the tent begin to hit the ceiling of the tent and tear and rip through it and pull chunks of the tent along with it that go flying up into the sky. Vengeance, unfortunately, you have no warning that this is about to happen, and you just fall up into the sky. You can see that a chunk of the area around you, including like a couple of wagons and crates and barrels and maybe even another nearby tent, are flying into the sky with you as well.
In my head, I'm just going, Ryland!
So so I'm in the western side of the tent, right? Holding on to something. Where is the map?
Oh my god, Ryland!
Ryland, I'll say this. The map has gone flying up and has hit the interior of the ceiling of the tent, and looks like as other stuff is kind of like plowing into it and the weight of it is dragging everything upward, it looks like it's about to fall into the sky as well. Through a hole in the tent.
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna have us roll initiative now and then go from there, or if I get like a reaction.
I don't want to roll initiative quite yet. I'm trying to give you guys like a chance to do some. I'm not rolling initiative, but I'm giving like you guys a chance to do something, and then something happens, and then you guys have a chance to do something, and then the other people.
If I
do.
can,
Nope, wrong thing.
if I can, am I able to pull myself down enough to get my feet on something so I can direct a push off to the map before it exits the tent?
So you want to reorient yourself and then launch yourself towards the map and grab it.
I'm going up. It's just a matter of angles.
Okay.
Banana.
Yeah, I will give you an acrobatics check to position yourself and launch yourself to grab hold of the map.
13.
This went from 0 to 100 so fucking quickly.
Those of you, I should mention that those of you who are outside of the camp can probably like see from your vantage point that there's some sort of disturbance.
There's a fire, a tent going up in the air.
Yeah, there's like there's smoke that looks a little more, let's say, ominous than the rest of the campfire smoke that's coming right from the middle, and suddenly you can just see like one of these massive tents basically just looks like it implodes from the inside and goes flying up into the air, and a bunch of debris is flying up into the air. And you feel like you might even be able to see little people flying around up in the air.
We're still invisible.
Well, for now.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gotten hurt yet.
That's,
We haven't taken
that's
damage.
true. That's true. You're not visible, so you don't see little people. But Ryland, you 13. You're able to push yourself over and grab hold of the tent, or sorry, grab hold of the map. But in doing so, you can't stop yourself from falling through the shredded holes in the ceiling.
Anthony, I don't even care. Let me know when I can do my next thing.
Alright, while he's doing that, can I try to use acrobatics to, like, jump off the debris back towards the ground? Because they all have reverse gravity, so it should work, like, upside down. I'm trying.
Yes, you can do that.
I don't want to fly to the sky.
I didn't say it would work, but you can try.
The bad part about this is I can't see where Vengeance is, and that'd be necessary to helping him.
All right. So Vengeance, I've got some good news for you and some bad news.
Oh, shit.
Everything is falling together up towards the sky. So you're not able to I don't know, Legolas hop from one falling block to another and somehow magically get back on top. But you are able to avoid the chunks of of barrels and debris and stuff that's just flying around you. You see like burning embers probably from the tent that you set on fire flying up around you. You're able to dodge and avoid them and kind of spin out of their way as they hurtle up and around you.
Okay.
You don't take any damage.
I
You
have a
and
side
Ryland.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can we visibly see where the edge of this effect is?
You can sort of infer it by looking at like where stuff is on the ground and where stuff has vacated the ground.
Okay.
And you can see that the area that has been affected here looks like it's about 100 feet in diameter.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, there's like a whole section of the camp that has just gone flying up into the sky. There's probably other people who were caught completely unawares who are also flying around up there with you. And Ryland, you are also flying up there. The two of you. Oh, Ryland, right? You take some damage because you're not quite as lucky as Vengeance.
I took damage?
You're taking damage as you go tumbling up into the sky and knock into some debris around you. Hang on.
Because your acrobatics was low to not go
Okay,
flying up.
I didn't really get on my dex check.
Not too bad, Ryland. Just 13 points of bludgeoning damage as some of the debris that was inside the tent continues to like fall out through the new hole that you just made in the ceiling and keeps hitting you as you all go up. The two of you fly up to the top of this effect, which turns out to be about 100 feet in the air.
Oh
And
no.
you then you continue to fall a little bit like past that, but you feel a weird lurch in your stomach as gravity suddenly shifts again, and you find yourself falling back towards the ground. But then again, as you hit the 100-foot mark, gravity shifts, and you're now falling up again, and so you just sort of oscillate back and forth, slowly losing a little bit of momentum each time until you are basically hanging there 100 feet in the air with a whole bunch of debris hanging in the air around you. And you can just see through like what is left of the half of the tent that got exploded upward. Sobel just standing there staring up at you. It looks like he is reaching a hand towards you as if to do something else.
Ryland, go.
Oh no, I gotta. Where is Vengeance in comparison to me?
You have no idea.
No, damn it.
Ryland, go.
Well, I can do something else. I have two options here. Is that? So I'm no longer invisible at the moment.
Is this tent anywhere near the water by chance?
You can see the water. It's probably, I mean, it's not immediately adjacent to the river here. No, it's probably like something like 1,000 feet away or so.
That's not gonna help me here. From where I am, can I see anywhere out of this 100-foot area where I could land that wouldn't completely hurt like hell?
I mean, we're basically bouncing, like, on. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this, because it's a little hard for me to theory in mind. So we keep rising above the effects of the spell, and then dropping back down into it, and then going back up. So we're just kind of like bouncing? Okay.
It's slowly leveling out.
It basically, over the course of a few seconds, as you oscillate up and down, like a spring or a yo-yo, it's losing momentum, and you're just kind of evening out at this 100-foot mark.
Okay.
But yeah, is there anywhere
Ryland's gonna yell out to Vengeance. I don't know, he doesn't have to yell out. I can just speak in my head. Vengeance, I'm gonna need you to make sure I can see you to do what I'm gonna do.
Okay, I'm relinquish the invisibility, I guess.
Can you do that?
I don't think you can, but you could damage yourself with one hit. You can cut your hand.
I'm gonna punch the rock next to me.
Okay. You could also probably communicate to Seven.
You can tell me to drop it.
Seven, let it go.
Is Ryland okay with that?
Yeah.
He's already seen.
All right, I'll drop the invisibility.
All right, and the two of you become visible.
And at this point, I'll save this for a later time because it's gonna be super cool. But you know, whatever. Moment calls for it. Ryland's gonna stuff that map into his side bag, and he's gonna take out his nice little holy book. And on one of the blank pages, he's gonna start tracing an image, a form, and it's gonna start to like as my finger goes, the page will light up. Basically, I'm doing paint in my book. And he is going to summon a celestial.
Okay. Do you have a golden reliquary worth at least 500 gold pieces?
I do.
Okay.
This was in the
You
initial
what?
starting thing. Yeah, I've had this since we left the sanctuary. I planned this way out in advance. That was about the only thing I took out of the starting money we had.
Oh my god.
Ironically, I have one of these.
And we are gonna go for the Defender.
What is happening?
And he is being summoned directly next to Vengeance. And he is going to scoop him. And then he's going to make his way to me next.
Okay. How much movement does he have?
He has a flying speed of 40 feet.
And does he act on his own initiative?
Shares my
Not that.
initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys
Okay.
verbal commands.
Okay, got it. It flies. Well, it scoops up Vengeance. It'll kind of grab him up as an action, and then it'll come flying over towards you, Ryland. Okay.
Find a good Latin chant for me
Vengeance. Yeah, now would be the time. Vengeance. What are you doing while you are in the arms of this large, apparently absolutely shredded and naked celestial spirit?
I'm just looking at Ryland like, why did you give him a big dick for no reason? Like, what is this?
No, he's genderless.
At least put clothes on him.
He's genderless. There's no penis. It's like taking clothes off a Barbie doll.
Bullshit. They put that cloth in front of something for a reason.
Oh, I found the Russian Orthodox chant.
I'm kind of just riding it out at this point. Like, what is going on?
Okay. Then some things are going to start happening now. It's been a few seconds since all this commotion began. Sokol is going to do something else.
Oh, yay!
We'd love to hear. Oh God, why are you laughing?
The situation just got ridiculous. That's all.
Let's go step by step here for a second. You know,
I got the map.
we got the no. Let's go before that real quick, right? Yeah, sneak into a fucking army camp. Literally, like, cause a distraction. You drop a fucking ingot and it slams out, makes a loud noise, and then a fucking dude just whips out like a fucking wand, and fucking all of you guys go. Everything just lifts into the heavens. Then Ryland just summons. What?
I didn't say anything about a wand.
Yeah, he just used his hand.
The power of God. I don't know, but and then fucking Ryland summons a fucking angel out of nowhere, and now it's scooping them up and trying to get them out of there. Did I miss anything?
No, you got it. Right. So while Ryland is stuck up there,
how far away was he from me whenever he showed himself?
I couldn't have been more than 40 feet.
Right. I'm assuming that like you and the angel and Vengeance are all adjacent to each other at this point. But if anything, that only makes you guys an ideal target.
Eat shooting.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm doing this half inside of Roll20 and half outside of it. Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he can target more than just one of you. I mean, maybe he could do Vengeance and the Celestial Spirit.
Totally did get to pick up Vengeance for that reason. But...
Okay. I'm going to need another dexterity saving throw from Vengeance and the Celestial Spirit.
What the?
I mean, this makes perfect sense since Vengeance is in the arms of an angel and probably does not have a lot of room to maneuver.
Yeah, I can't really do anything, but fuck! It's gonna hurt.
The spirit.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help.
Nope.
I just want to say that I would actually be like shouting right now if I wasn't in a semi-public place. So that's bad news for both of you. You get hit by a beam that shoots out from his hand, and it's technically a line 5 feet in diameter. That catches both Vengeance and the Celestial Spirit, and you feel this incredible pain rack your minds as you take psychic damage.
Oh my god.
Not too bad of a roll, only 26 points for each of you.
Okay.
And then you
Don't say and then.
And then he drops concentration, and the two of you fall. Well, the angel probably won't fall, but Rylan definitely will.
Oh my god.
Rylan, you fall 100 feet.
He should not fall 100 feet before the angel gets a turn, right?
Does he have a
No,
reaction since he was adjacent to me?
Reaction to do what?
To try and grab?
I'll give him a chance to try and grab you. It is going to be an... trying to decide if it's a matter of strength or dexterity. I think it's probably a matter of... I mean, this is a huge creature, right? Aren't the Celestial Guardians, like, large or huge?
Large.
Okay, so he's probably able to carry you easily enough, so to me it's a matter of dexterity. He's going to make a straight-up dexterity check to try and grab you. I'm going to set the DC equal to the DC of this spell. No.
Bye.
The angel reaches out, and Ryland, you fall. Taking 39 points of damage and requiring a concentration check for the spirit, I believe.
God.
Oh god, no. Oh, thank god.
Alright, that's very impressive. You needed to roll really well on that concentration check, and you did. Okay. You keep the spirit active. You're on the ground. You can see that the two guards who are around the front of the tent have come rushing around towards you. They're advancing towards you while you're on the ground here. They haven't reached you yet, but they're coming your way. What do you do?
Okay. First things first, I'm shouting up to the good old spirit to get Vengeance out of here. Preferably, just flying back to the group. And the first thing I am doing is going to be a sanctuary spell on myself.
Oh my god.
I gotta buy a little time, probably. I'm prone right now, right?
Yes.
Am I able to move to at least get out of, like... How close is everyone to me from where I fell?
Let's assume that you are probably about 30 feet from where Sobel's standing, and maybe about 20 from the guards who are advancing towards you. They have to kind of pick their way through the debris field around you, so they're moving a little slowly.
And is there anywhere I could take any kind of cover, even like a stack of boxes temporarily.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all of the debris that was in the air has come crashing to the ground with you as well. So there's
Okay.
all sorts of stuff everywhere.
I am going to stand up, scramble 15 feet away from both of those parties, the guards and Sobel, and try and take any kind of cover I can. And for an action here, I am going to get on my hands and knees and start begging Eldath to
Oh
help
my
me get out of this situation.
Oh my god. Oh, literally in the literally praying to God.
Like, if there's ever a time.
And this definitely fits with Ryland's character too. like this is oh man. This fucking I gotta turn off this chanting, man. It's making me emotional.
And what exactly is your request to your deity?
Begging Eldath to help get me out of here. To get myself and vengeance out of here. Just me, if that's all she can manage. I've got vengeance flying away right now.
So you have, to be clear, you have a 10% chance of this working. Is that correct? What level are you? Are you 11th level?
Equal to or lower than your so it's got to be 10 or lower.
Equal to or lower. Okay, so you have one monk level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to roll
D100
below a 10.
or a 10. Equal to or lower.
Right, a 10 or below. Yes. Go for it.
God, with the one time I roll high. That's okay.
Eldath either isn't listening or has no power here. You're not sure which is a scarier thought.
She's busy. It's okay. I understand. I got backup plans.
Okay. What about you, Vengeance? You're in the arms of an angel.
Flying very fast. 80 feet. At the moment.
I'm yelling at the angel. No, go help him. Help him. I can't really do much. I'm in the arms of an angel. I don't want to fall 100 feet.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough spot to be in.
I'm going to say through the mental thing, Ryland's doing something stupid.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what everybody else who's far outside of the camp is thinking or how they're reacting at this point. Because you can
As you guys just see an angel flying towards you.
Yeah, you can see chaos erupting, and you could probably see some like sparkles in the sky when the celestial was summoned. I mean, you probably, it's so far away that you probably can't make out the details of the fight, but you can see that there's like, you can see everything went flying up into the air and then fell back down as if it had been thrown about by a twister. But then there's something still like flying up there, and of course, you might pick up a little bit of the psychic, the mental chatter going back and forth between them.
What? Code red.
This is why I insist on collecting small toes or fingers.
Island, you have to hide. I don't know what you could possibly do. Get out of there.
Can I persuade this fucking Celestial to go back to help him? Is there any chance of that?
I think you have to persuade Ryland.
I am very persuasive, okay?
It is.
No,
It is.
it only obeys my verbal commands. And it is immune to being charmed.
Yeah, but I can still talk to it. Maybe it'll see my wake that its master is about to get fucking raped.
Can any of us do anything? I really don't know.
From
No.
here, Safine can't do anything.
No.
I can't even make you re-invisible again because I have to touch you.
Okay.
And I also would have told the angel, while it is flying away, to drop a little bit in altitude Yeah, probably like 20 feet down at least.
And
Okay.
just because I think the theme would have put up a pillow party by now.
Sure.
Wait, so how far away
Why
is
not?
am I off the ground? This thing flying with me?
Sounds like about 80 feet now.
That doesn't help me. Oh, I'm not falling and taking that much damage. It's death.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
It's not.
It's only like a couple d6s.
Yeah, 8d6 is not too bad. I mean, you just got hit uh, by Psychic Ray for 8d6 damage, and it only tickled you, really. But, okay. Let's see. Ryland's got the map and is on the ground praying and casting Sanctuary on himself. And Vengeance is flying away, entreating this angel to go back for Ryland.
I mean, I got other stuff to do, Anthony, but I'm only trying to take like one turn here.
Right. Yeah, think of it as if you're taking like an action, and this sort of we're basically in initiative, even though we haven't rolled. We're sort of trading back and forth here. So, okay. Sobel. Is going to turn. Let's see. How long does that last? He's going to, I think he's going to do another one of those lovely little psychic rays or bolts. And he's gonna this time just turn it at Ryland, or he's going to try. So Sanctuary. Okay, it's a harmful spell. Yeah, so he has to make the save, the Wisdom save. What's your DC?
18.
Okay.
Wait for the noise. I feel like I'm back in Oregon Vostolt, surrounded by revenants.
You remember how that went last time?
Yeah, I made it out.
Yeah, he definitely made it out.
He's okay.
Technically, I made it out too, but that was.
Well, I don't think you actually made it out though.
You made it out in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
He's fine with your Sanctuary. He doesn't seem to have any problem trying to blast you with more psychic energy. So I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw. Hey, at least this is something you guys are all good at, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
all of us are good at those.
You tumble and duck to the side of some debris, which seems to block a little bit of the psychic energy, and you will only take half of the following damage. Only 16 points of psychic damage, and I want to emphasize at this point that Sobel looks like he's doing this almost casually. Like he's not trying really hard. He has a grim set to his features as he's just staring at Ryland, not saying any words. But he's not like whipping out all of the. He's not pulling out all the stops on this. These are just things he's doing with like a flick of his hands, a gesture of his fingers, all while standing, kind of stationary there, just watching this happen. Meanwhile, those other 2 guards that I mentioned, are closing in on Ryland.
Is it my turn now?
Nope, the two guards I mentioned are closing in on Ryland.
Can they get to me in one turn?
Yes, at this point they can. They were advancing last round. They're now able to reach you.
Damn, they're 35 feet of movement speed.
Oh, shush you. Actually, maybe this would be a good time to show off one of the things that they can do, since you guys never actually fought them before. And you have no idea what they're capable of.
I'm very thankful for those bonus HP there.
Yeah.
This is
Ryland,
Yeah.
Ryland, you're right. It is a little bit too far for them to walk up.
Knew it.
So they
Oh.
so they teleport.
What?
Excuse me? Oh, lordy lord.
You see both of them raising up battle axes as they advance towards you, and then all of a sudden they flick out of existence and reappear directly above you with the battle axes raised.
And stumble on the ground and debris. Oh, thank goodness.
I believe you're still prone unless you stood up. Did you say? Was that a thing you said?
No, I didn't go prone. Like, I just, like, did my little prayer.
No, but you.
No, I got
Well, you
up.
fell.
I
You
got
fell
up.
prone in the first place, but.
Yeah, I got up when I fell from the
Okay.
sky and moved behind cover.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. Well, they are teleporting to get around the cover and all the debris, but you're not prone at least, so. They are each going to take 2 attacks with their battle axes.
After they beat my DC 18.
Yes, yes.
You're up the net 20 for you saying that.
Well, one of them failed. The other one did not. So you managed to stave off one of them, as he's unable to bring himself to strike at you while you're so
Wisdom save?
innocent looking. Yes, against Sanctuary.
Oh.
And now for the attack rolls. These are large, ponderous weapons that they're swinging around. And the first one brings down this huge axe and misses as it cleaves and digs deep into the dirt at your feet. You step away and misses again, Ryland, as you get incredibly lucky. All right.
Kevin,
Ryland
if you have something
Vengeance,
up your sleeve.
If you got something up your sleeve, I really want to hear it.
Okay, my turn now.
It's
Okay.
you and Vengeance. Vengeance, I'm going to say this, as before you do anything, you can see that elsewhere in the camp, alarms are being raised. And, I mean, you can hear, like, cries, horns sounding, dogs barking everywhere. You can see that there are people who are raising their eyes heavenwards, see you up there. And some of the guards who are already armed are starting to line up shots at you with crossbows and bows and whatever they have on hand.
Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna command the Celestial to go down another 40 feet.
Okay,
Actually,
it is now.
well, if it dashes, it can move 80 feet. It's 80 feet up right now.
80 feet, like diagonally, like that way.
I didn't want to get into like the Pythagorean theorem over here of like how much actual distance I can cover. So I was just kind of doing like, chess style, like over this many, down that many, and just, like factoring in a curve in there.
Yeah, just give me an estimate. This is theater of the mind.
Yeah,
It's you can't.
he's going to fly forward about like 20 feet ish, and in that 20 feet of going forward, he's also going to drop down about 60 feet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he's only 20 feet above the ground. And as soon as I see the angel get to about 20 feet, I'm going to look at Sobel in the eyes. I'm going to say, that pendant we found was real dumb. And then I am going to banish myself. Which will drop the concentration on the Celestial.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yep. We planned for this one.
Vengeance is going to tumble 20 feet immediately.
He's
Vengeance,
he's telling me this has happened, so I'm kind of prepared to like jump for it.
Yeah, you can give me an acrobatics check to try and land as lightly as possible, considering the momentum and the drop. All right, pretty good.
I just, Kevin, I just want to mention, I don't think that works the way you think.
I
'Cause
realize that.
You get incapacitated as soon as you're there.
Yep, I just read that part.
And you just pop right back.
I can wait. Oh, God, I did not read that part.
Yeah, that's true. You would lose concentration as soon as you did it. I'll let you amend that before, because it just would basically do nothing for you.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's a sticky situation.
I was wondering about that. I was like, I'll have to review that in a second as soon as I find out what Vengeance does, but...
It's really good to use on a corpse, so that your friends don't have to suffer being killed while prone.
In that case... How far away am I from the river?
I think I said roughly 1,000 feet. Less than a quarter mile.
Okay,
Should have sent Safine on this mission so that Mark could get a little more game time.
Or use Dimension Door.
Or Dimension Door. I was kind of surprised nobody's actually done that yet.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I'm just gonna bubble myself.
God damn it.
And I'm gonna start pushing the bubble towards the river.
So does the angel still go away because now you have to concentrate on the bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part still happens. Alright, so,
Can the angel not fly you go?
Vengeance is able to, land pretty lightly. You're still going to, you're still coming down with a lot of momentum, but you only take a little bit of damage.
Fuck management.
Only 6 points of bludgeoning damage. You land a little bit hard, and you do end up prone, which is the worst part in this case. But at least you are back on the ground, and out of view of all of those archers and crossbowmen who were taking aim. You're now back down amongst the soldiers' tents. Some people are there's definitely a few people around who are pointing and staring, and some of them are moving as if to apprehend you. What do you do?
How much is there anywhere I can duck really quickly after getting up?
Yeah, there's tons of like tents and carts and supplies that are scattered around. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start hardcore parkouring the fuck away till I find a space I can dip behind.
All right. You have your cunning action available, so between that and your movement, if you like get up, dash, and then try to stealth, you can do that. So go ahead and give me a stealth check.
All right.
All right. 23. you feel like you managed to get out of line of sight of some of those folks, and then you disappear. And you can hear shouting and footsteps and the sound of clanking armor and drawn weapons as people are rushing all around. But at least for the moment, you don't think anybody knows exactly where you are.
Well, I can't do what I want to do till next time back at me.
All right. Let me review this globe one more time.
Kevin, I noticed that you are hamster balling yourself quite a lot recently.
Listen, if I wasn't an idiot and actually read that entire spell beforehand, I would have gone for the ingot, and this would have.
What did you think you were going to banish yourself after grabbing it?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought, Anthony.
Oh no. All right, so as far as I can figure, these other two guards, it doesn't matter if they swing their axes at you, they can't get through the spear, so you can just roll away from them at half speed.
And that is what I will be doing.
Okay. At this point, things get a little... Oh, what am I going to do with you? One reverse gravity, a couple of psychic bolts. Is there anything in that spell that can be picked up and moved by other creatures? Okay. Ryland. The ball is just large enough to contain you, right? So it's a medium-sized ball. All right, I need to make a wisdom check. Hang on. This is actually not a gimme.
On the bright side, it doesn't say I can only ask my deity for help once a day.
That's like once a week.
No, it's only if it works.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh wait, no, it does say you can use it again after you finish the long rest. Damn it.
Okay.
How long does the globe last?
A minute.
You can actually make him use a spell. All right. Ryland, if you hamster ball and it works great, right up until you're dealing with enemies that have psychic powers to lift and move things around. And you can see that that Sobel was he looked like he made a slight gesture with one finger, and you felt like resistance on the ball for a second, but you just kept pushing it and were able to push through. And Sobel looks mildly annoyed as he then like twists his whole hand and then clenches it shut to a fist, and suddenly He lifts the whole ball up into the air with you inside of it.
Okay.
You're just running there like a hamster on a wheel, just spinning in midair. And he slowly starts drawing the ball and you back towards him. At this point, you see the robed and masked figure who has been observing all of this quietly from a distance step forward and kind of lay one hand on Sobel's shoulder and then begins to speak to you. And even though there's a ton of chaos around you with soldiers running and shouting and alarms going off and probably animals like whinnying, screaming, barking everywhere, you can hear this masked man's voice very clearly, even though it's soft and faint, barely more than a sigh, as he says, "You are struggling like a rat in the jaws of a cat. It is unseemly. Cease, and perhaps there is mercy for you."
Is he waiting for me to respond?
Sure. Let's say you have it. You can say and do something here. Well, say something.
Obviously, you don't know me, but I get in conundrums like this more often than I like to admit. So I'm good. You keep doing what you got.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. In that case, the masked man responds saying, "You received an offer for peace once. Do not expect to receive it again."
Ryland, you might want to start praying.
I'm praying all the time.
And she still didn't listen to you.
And Ryland, as this voice is speaking, I'd like you to give me an insight check.
Now you roll nat 20s again.
Ryland, you recognize two things about this voice. First of all, that strange, sort of soft, whispery, sigh-y nature to it. It reminds you of some of the figures you've encountered in your past, most notably the diplomat Viator Bardas, who negotiated with you back in your family's monastery, all the way back in the River Kingdoms, which feels like so long ago. And the second thing you realize is that the strange cadence to the voice and the particular style of speech reminds you of Safine. And you realize that this person is speaking in the style of the Xantum Empire. You can do with that what you will, but this is just something you notice from behind the mask.
relay that in my head to the group.
Yeah, Sophie?
So that's what we think his name is.
To be clear, Ryland didn't think it was actually him, but it was the same style of speech.
I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, again, Sabine holds power in the Empire, but not, we're not exactly in the Empire. And this person could be one of the people on the border who left the Empire for the Fey Queen, like in I had that name, Arkengrad and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. That is. Back in, you guys learned about that with Corvia, like seceding from the Empire. Although you don't know of, I'll say you don't know of any like kingdoms or nations along the border here that broke off from Xantum specifically. In fact,
Right.
the Xantum Empire exists right across the border. There's no like border states.
What was the guy's name who was at the meeting? I forget his name. Who was talking to Cat? Who Cat got shit faced and was yelling at?
That was
Viator.
his. Yeah, that was Viator.
You can always ask if it's Viet. You can always name drop Viator, see if he responds.
You remind me of a fella I met before. You know? It's a funny thing, coincidences like that. Especially in other places of the world. You ever know a Viator?
Viator. Yes. That name. I haven't heard it for a long while, but we used to be acquainted. It is a small world among the enduring.
I can
You can
actually hear
see,
what they say.
yeah, and Ryland, if you can perhaps, I don't know if you're psychically connecting back to the others, but you can see that like Sobel is pausing here. There's a slight like twitch under one cheek, as if he really looks like he just wanted to like fling you or crush you or something, but he seems to be waiting at least for this exchange to play out as he continues to hold your sphere there. So I'm going to ask you. I'm kind of passing the buck to you, or passing the ball to you. What do you do here?
The only thing I can offer you is to say that, God, I forget my parents' names. Because I said enduring, that there happen to be a few enduring who would miss you if you left this world. And I don't have my parents' name on file right now, but you can say that I said those names if you want to use that as one last Hail Mary.
Daddy Sophine, Mommy Sophine.
Mommy and Daddy Sophine don't know that Sophine's still alive.
Did I go up in the same manner I did earlier, or did I go up in the way that I went up when we were in the interdimensional portal, where then I was smashed into the ground?
No, yeah, this is different. He hasn't like caused the whole area of the camp to explode. He's just very specifically picked you up. And you can see that he seems to be like focusing on holding you in the air there.
How high up am I?
Probably only about 20 feet in the air, but you're slowly being drawn back to hover kind of right beside these two.
There goes that one I was gonna say.
I'd start name dropping, dude.
I don't know. Like, who would I name drop?
literally my parents, who I just said their names, but I don't have it on this computer.
Were they part of the Enduring?
Yes.
Yes, they're both enduring, and they're both elves.
Okay, I don't know exactly how I would say that. Just randomly bring up these two people I don't
Well,
know.
Well, you say enduring. You said he said it was a small world for the enduring, which is your jump off to say, yeah, there's a few that would miss me, such as.
I'm gonna go with Mark. I'm gonna take some guidance on this one. I'll say something similar to what Mark said. It is a small world. Happen to know a couple endured who would miss me if I perished. You like I said, it's a small world. You may know, and then I'd say their names.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a persuasion roll, and you can have advantage on this from Safine's coaching, which will, I believe, negate the ugliness of your face.
Oof.
The masked figure turns his head up slightly, and his mask catches the last of the daylight in the sky as he looks at you and says, "We enduring learn to stop mourning the passing of mortals early in our unlives. Yet you are an elf, so perhaps you've lingered longer than most that we associate with. Sobel, if you would be so kind, I would like to converse with this one. You can consider it a peace offering between us. Release him into my custody. And you can see Sobel, like, again, a little bit of a twitch underneath the one eye. He still hasn't said a word this entire time. And finally, he grunts out, "Drop your spells. Drop your magics. Throw away your symbol. Do not think to deceive or distract, or I will explode your head by bursting every blood vessel in your brain at once."
Well, see, so that the way you said that makes me think I should keep it up because there's nothing stopping you from doing it afterwards. And honestly, for a man who wears such lavish slippers, that's awfully rude.
The masked man says,
Wait, that was Sobel that said that to me, right?
"Yes, that was
Okay, making
Sobel."
sure.
And you can see that twitch return twice fold as you say this. But even as he looks like he's like twisting his hand a little bit more as if preparing to do something else, once again the masked figure says, "I am the thing that is stopping him, for I hold some sway with this gentleman. It seems that both of us have known Sobel in different ways that perhaps the average citizen has not. So you can have my assurance that no harm will come to you as long as you cooperate."
I'll be glad to come with you. Can I just stay in the bubble at least until we get away from him? You're much, nicer to speak to. Just once we get away from him, I'll be glad to drop this and walk side by side with you.
And what assurance have I that you won't simply protract these dreary proceedings?
Listen, if I could have left, I would have left already. I'm kind of, that's why I'm in a bubble.
So we'll put him down. If you and your 10,000 troops cannot slay a single elf, should he try to pull a fast one, then I don't even see why we need to negotiate with each other. And Sobel kind of lowers his hand. And Ryland, you suddenly fall 20 feet to the ground and land hard, but you're inside your sphere and you just bounce a little bit and get knocked around.
Wait, he just drops it or he puts it down?
He drops it.
Do I fall? Because this thing is weightless.
Yeah, but you have weight. It's not a helium balloon. You fall 20 feet. Just be glad I'm not making you roll damage.
There's a lot of debate on the internet about it.
If you can exert force on it, then you can exert downwards force from your falling body. So
God has spoken.
Are we sure this guy isn't actually Safine's dad?
No, I don't think we are.
And yeah, you're on the ground now. Soren says, "Oh, I mean, Sobel, uh, just kind of grunts and says, 'You better know what you're doing, and I better have my turn with him.' And Soren, oh my god, why do I keep saying that? The masked man just gives a slight shrug of his shoulders and says, 'All things play out in time. Perhaps you will have your time with him. In fact, something tells me that you most certainly will. But first, I shall have my time. Come.' He offers one of those silk-gloved hands out to you and beckons for you to follow him.
Just pattering away in my little bubble, just cruising over debris.
Okay. And in your little bubble, the two of you begin striding, and you see that this man is leading you out of the camp.
Is it towards Lamatum?
It is towards Lamatum.
Okay, I'll just, radio back in with the group when we do this tunnel pan, like, I'm okay, guys, don't worry about me. Trick, these idiots have taken me into the city. But vengeance is somewhere still in camp. Just in case, I go out of distance here.
Okay. You begin heading along the paths into the city, starting to pass from the sort of the edge of the camp into the outskirts of the town itself. Meanwhile, Vengeance and all of the others, what are you guys up to? It's been a while.
I'm sorry for bogoing that session, guys.
That's fine.
Let everyone else go before me.
I assume that we've all been listening in closely, like as this has been kind of playing out. Kat is looking at Fiend and Seven. Do we follow?
I'm not quite sure.
Follow what?
We should move from where we are.
I mean, it sounds like this Enduring is one of your kin. You not kin, not like family or anything, but like Xantham. I like those guys. I work for them. We could pass ourselves off as Xantham people. Yes.
You and I could, but you're kind of known as a mercenary fighter for the Phantom Empire. I don't feel that my kin, so to say, are from the Empire proper. They're more from your area.
Maybe,
As
but you could have just hired me. I mean, you did hire. I'm pretty sure I actually am hired by you. So
right, and therefore, us coming in as Phantom Empire, crossing a border.
play it low key. Yes.
Well, we can't stay here. And we're dealing with an Adoring, so who knows how old this one is and skilled. I still don't understand how anybody could live with going on and on without being able to grow their nails and be stuck with one style for the rest of their lives. But I think
am, I am sure that others are suffering the lack of fashion diversity, like you, Sophie. Zayshik, what do you think?
What do I think about what?
Uh, what do you think our next move should be?
We came here with a mission.
Okay.
We're here to meet with the Queen and negotiate the use of some artifact. Correct?
Uh,
that is correct.
right. Yes. 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 Yes.
He's just motioning like, and so isn't that what we're here to do?
Yeah. That is what we're
Yeah,
here to
yeah.
do.
Yes. Let us. I guess we are just going to ride on by like we. Yay!
But you say go in. Where are we going in? How are we going in? This just seems like a plan because two of Arthur are over there, so therefore we should go over there.
So we how many of us are left here? 4?
3. Vengeance is somewhere in camp.
No, because Nimue
Oh shit!
And Merlin.
and
And
Merlin.
Merlin.
So 4.
I'm
5.
here.
No, Vengeance is not here, right? I'm saying who many people here outside.
Cat, Sophie.
No, 5.
7.
Same 5.
Merlin, Nimue.
With Merlin, we're a team of 7.
Right. 5. So 5.
And how far is it from the start of the camp to the city, roughly?
I would say that from the very edge of the camp to like the city outskirts is probably about a half mile total. Maybe a touch less.
Yeah, I mean, if they're camped a mile out, if it's a mile of soldiers we have to get through, then I don't see any way we're gonna get through them. It seems like a long line of soldiery, but
I mean, the camp does not completely surround the town. It's not as if it's like a total, it's not as if it's under siege and the town is completely surrounded. you can sort of try to skirt around the camp if you wish to. It's just that it's, guarded and patrolled. There's still eyes on the roads in and out. Still checkpoints.
I mean, I could just try and talk my way through.
So we go through the checkpoints, and if we get stopped, Safine and I dimension door us to the next fucking checkpoint, each taking one person with us, and we tell Merlin to fly. And I assume we can dimension door enough times to get us close to the city if the checkpoint assholes are being assholes.
I can do it twice because I used one of my 4th level spells to make sure 2 of our people didn't die from being dropped from the sky.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have any other option, but it doesn't seem like, throwing ourselves at the mercy of the Fey Queen's forces because Rylan got caught is going to help us.
Yeah. Point.
I mean, and if we decide to go after him, then our mission changes from get this artifact to rescue Ryland, right? Because all that's going to do is start a huge battle with her forces, and I didn't think we wanted that. So I don't feel like we have many other options than to just try to get through this blockade somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping Vengeance can sneak through it as well. Maybe we can get to Ryland in the city somehow.
Oh, I'm going after Ryland.
You're going after Ryland? Okay, yeah. I already kind of assumed that Vengeance was on the move in that direction.
All right. I mean, fuck it. Let's just go. We'll just figure it out. We'll play it by ear until then. We'll keep skirting around, avoiding patrols as much as we can, and if we get stopped and questioned, I will do the same. Oh yes, I'm just a silly noble doing a retinue, doing a soldier. I'm just wacky cat.
I mean, if we want to try to sneak around them, Merlin can do the pass without trace,
Oh, true.
and I can do invisibility on. Well, I can do all of us if I have to. You'd have to take off your armor so that you don't fail stealth rolls, but I mean, there's few of it. Like I couldn't do like 8 people. I can do 6.
True. Okay. Uh.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you guys have any better options, but Seven is not looking like he wants to start a war with this whole army or with Sobel or any of these people. Like that's not what we came for.
I would agree. Then in that case, I think taking off, at least for me, taking off my armor and then just going with you guys and passing without trace seems the smartest play. Sophie?
I mean, yeah, sadly, we're going to have to. Our hands are a little bit forced, but it's gonna be fine, I guess.
Their hackles are up, so yeah.
Yeah, but I guarantee you that we have been reported from previous the other people who came and talked to us.
They already know we're here, so we might as well not make cause more of a stir than already possible. But
I mean, do you want to try to fly in? You could just fly.
Yeah, I mean, that could work. Drop us off on the tallest tower, but I'm sure they have something going on. Fuck it, let's
So
I don't know.
This is kind of like a siege, right?
Well, I don't think they're actually set up for a siege.
Well, they're not
Yeah,
set up yet.
it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on here. You see that the camp has it fortified itself and is definitely controlling passage in and out of the city, but they haven't erected like siege weapons or anything like that.
Right, and we really need to get to the city. Right, that's where we're headed in the first place. Man, y'all get too squeamish about cutting off your fingers.
I so want Safine to do this now. I want this to be a thing Safine does is resurrect someone with a finger.
Like that's why I have what's it called? Is it Resurrection I have, or I have Raised Dead? Resurrection comes at with 7th level spell.
Well,
Okay. Well, I think Seven's plan was a good one. We fuck it. We can just fly. Let's just fly. It'll make it so much simpler if we just fly over all this bullshit and just
not gonna
go.
lie, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought you guys were just gonna fly over it all in the first place.
Let's
Well,
just
I can't. I couldn't fly the entire party. Like 8 people. Why would need like I would need like a 9th level. No, even 9th wouldn't be enough.
Can you fly 6 people?
No. But Merlin can fly. But Merlin can fly on his own.
You only need to fly 4 people, right? Because you have your own bastion. Merlin can fly, so you
Exactly.
just need to get Nimue and Kat and Safine and wait, is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That I can do.
Okay, I guess we're just flying.
Okay. And if you stay close together, Merlin can even cast Pass Without Trace, which may give you a little bit of cover since it is now after sunset and you are flying through a darkened sky.
But I suggest we fly up out of arrow range, well out of arrow range before we start heading towards the city.
That seems like a very reasonable thing to do. And at such great elevations in the dark, you begin to move through the sky. You pass over the myriad lights of the army beneath you. And, at this height, it's kind of hard to tell, like, has anybody spotted you? Have they not spotted you? You don't see any, like, crazy commotion happen at the camp as you fly overhead. You can see the aftermath of the battle at the center of the camp, as you just see a big hole, a big circular, like plot of darkness where there are no campfires, there are no tents, just this debris from the fighting, and you continue on your way. Again, no signs that you've been spotted, no sounds of alarm, but you're so high up in the air that it might be hard to figure it out anyway. And eventually you pass over the Conj River, which is glistening in the light of the moon, and find yourselves hovering over the city of Lymadnum. And Vengeance. You're the last one. Let me hear what you're doing. I know you're going after Ryland. I just want to hear what your thoughts are about how you try and get there.
You're muted, man.
Thank you. Once I get into cover, I'm gonna cast my own invisibility spell because we're using 7s to begin with. So I'm gonna cast that and then sneak back through the village to basically just follow Ryland, who I imagine is telling me where the fuck he's going in my head.
Okay, and how long did that the mind link spell last?
I'll just post it for you. 1 hour.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that that spell probably lasted long enough for all of your escapades into the camp, and long enough for you to like communicate with each other. But it's definitely going to expire before you're all able to meet up. So Vengeance, the camp is sort of on alert, but it's now dark. You're invisible, and it's definitely a little bit chaotic. You know, people were all sort of going about their routines, and everything was kind of orderly before. You can sense that there's a palpable tension around the camp now, as people are on the move and sort of on alert. Not going to make you roll a stealth check at this point, but we'll assume that you are able to make your way through the camp, reach the river and the bridges, and slip through the final checkpoint there. You have lots of things going in your favor right now, so through you go. And I assume perhaps one of the last things that you are able to communicate while you still have that telepathic bond active is where you are going to meet, which is, well, I don't know if this is what you tell them, Ryland, but your host, who introduces himself to you as Soren as you walk, would suggest that you convene at the furnace.
Okay, I would relay that if he's telling me where a safe place for us to meet is.
Well, I cannot entirely promise that it is safe, but I can assure you that it is an easy landmark to find, and that there are those there who respect my authority.
What? Guys, I guess we shall meet up at the furnace. I'm going in the city with the masked man. Good luck to you guys. See you soon. Hopefully.
Okay.
Okay, bye. And his
All
voice
right.
fades off to the distance.
His voice fades out with the telepathic bond, and that is where we are going to have to bring things to a close this week, unfortunately. But I am going to ask this, Mark. I know you said you may be able to squeeze in half the set.
Yeah, I can probably do half a session. I will know by Friday what time I have to be at work on that day. Am I coming
This
through?
would be a good spot to.
Can you guys hear me when I'm talking?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I was like, yes. Yeah. It's probably just a 2-day thing.
A
2-hour thing. A 2-hour thing, not a full session.
Right.
Sorry, I just heard something really vibrating in my kitchen. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, even if you could only make the first hour, I think it would be a nice opportunity for us to get a little bit more Safine interaction, and in an environment that I think would Safine would do well in.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all could. It all might work a little bit better. I don't know how everybody's schedule is, but if you did an hour earlier, I can get 3 hours in. I just have to wake up before.
Well, I don't know if
Just
that works. Yeah, I don't
throwing
know if
that
works.
out there.
Sure. I could make it happen, but if we have to see how other people are able to handle it.
Yeah, don't all commit on it like just this instant. It's a week away. I'll be able to work. Yeah, I know Max has a completely different schedule, and I know, we haven't seen Nimue in a while, but
Yeah, hopefully
I don't know
Scarlett will be
what
back with us next week.
Scarlett's what her schedule's going to be. She's usually the one who can't make it earlier.
Right. you know, we might maybe if enough people can do it, we might do it just this once, just because I want to be able to maximize our time with you. But
All right.
but yeah, well, I'm sorry. Sorry, it was a little bit uneventful.